Hey, today I shall share about Ethan and his wife. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And do hit like if you like the video. Ethan first met Hannah during freshman year at the University of Michigan. She had a radiant smile and an infectious laugh that pulled him in from across the campus quad. What started as late-night study sessions in the library quickly turned into shared coffees, long walks by the river, and a connection neither of them had expected. They fell in love slowly, deeply. Ethan cherished how easy everything felt with her, like the world outside their bubble didn't exist. Hannah, too, found comfort in his steady nature. He was reliable, the kind of man who made promises and kept them. Their relationship was rooted in shared dreams of a future, graduating, moving to the city, starting a life together. During senior year, they moved into a small apartment off campus. It wasn't much, but to them, it was home. Ethan proposed to Hannah right before graduation, under the tree where they had their first kiss. She said yes with tears in her eyes, and in that moment, it felt like everything was falling perfectly into place. After college, Ethan landed a job in marketing, while Hannah pursued a career in teaching. They moved to Chicago, ready to start their next chapter. For the first few years, life was good, comfortable, even. They went on vacations, hosted dinner parties, and spent weekends lounging in their cozy apartment. Ethan thought they were happy. But slowly, cracks began to form in the foundation of their marriage. Ethan became more focused on work, taking on extra projects to fast-track his career. He was always busy, always exhausted. Hannah, on the other hand, grew restless. She missed the passion, the excitement they once had. She started reaching out to old friends from college, looking for something, anything, to fill the void. That's when Ryan re-entered her life. Ryan was Hannah's first love. They dated briefly during her sophomore year, a whirlwind romance that had burned bright but ended too soon. He had left for a study abroad program in Europe, and their relationship couldn't withstand the distance. Now, years later, Ryan was back in Chicago, and when Hannah saw his name pop up on her social media, old feelings she thought had long since faded resurfaced. They met for coffee, just to catch up. At first, it was innocent. Hannah kept the meetings a secret from Ethan, telling herself it didn't matter, it wasn't like anything was happening. But with each encounter, the emotional distance between her and Ethan grew wider, while her connection with Ryan reignited. One night, he asked Hannah, wrapping his arm around her, "What about we go on a date? This Friday?" Hannah didn't quite look excited, rather, she was more motionless. There was a very cold response from her end. "I already have plans." Ethan started noticing the changes. Hannah was more distant, distracted, always checking her phone. She laughed less, their conversations turned shorter, and her smiles didn't quite reach her eyes. One night, after a particularly cold dinner where Ethan barely got a word out of her, he finally confronted her. "Hannah, what's going on with you lately?" Ethan asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Hannah hesitated, avoiding eye contact. "I don't know, Ethan. I've just been feeling off." "Is there someone else?" The question escaped his mouth before he could stop it. Ethan prayed her answer would be no. Her silence spoke louder than words. Ethan's heart sank as she finally said, "I've been seeing Ryan. It started as just catching up, but it's more now." Ethan's world collapsed in that moment. Ryan. The name haunted him. He knew about Ryan, the old flame Hannah used to talk about in college. He was just a shadow from the past, someone Ethan had never worried about, until now. "Are you in love with him?" Ethan asked, his voice barely a whisper. Hannah looked up, tears brimming in her eyes. "I don't know," she whispered, but the guilt in her eyes told him the truth. Ethan wasn't ready to give up. Not after all they'd been through. He believed they could fix this. He loved Hannah with every fiber of his being, and he wasn't going to let her walk away without a fight. In the weeks that followed, Ethan tried everything. He planned spontaneous dates, bought her flowers, and even suggested couples therapy. But nothing seemed to work. Hannah was still seeing Ryan, and it was clear she was torn between two men. Ethan and Ryan finally crossed paths one evening, when Ethan found them together outside the art gallery where Hannah had told him she was meeting friends. Rage bubbled inside him as he stormed up to them. "What the hell are you doing with my wife, Ryan?" Ethan demanded, fists clenched. Ryan didn't flinch. "This isn't just about you, Ethan. Hannah has choices. She's not happy, and you know it." Ethan turned to Hannah, his voice breaking. "Is that true? Are you really not happy with me anymore?" Hannah looked torn, her face etched with guilt. "I don't know, Ethan. I love you, but things aren't the same. With Ryan, I feel like myself again." The words hit Ethan like a punch to the gut. All those years, all those memories, they weren't enough to keep her from walking away. A few weeks later, Ethan came home to find Hannah sitting on the edge of their bed, her suitcases packed. She had been crying, but her expression was resolute. "I'm leaving, Ethan," she said softly. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. "For him?" Hannah nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "It's not that I don't love you, Ethan. I do. But with Ryan, it just feels right. I've been lying to myself and to you. I need to follow my heart." Ethan's hands trembled. "We can fix this, Hannah. Please. Don't throw away everything we've built." But deep down, he knew it was over. He could see it in her eyes. The spark they once had was gone, replaced by the pull she felt toward Ryan. Ethan was left with nothing but the remnants of a love he thought would last forever. Hannah and Ryan's relationship blossomed quickly. Within months, they moved into a loft downtown. Their life together was full of excitement and spontaneity, something Hannah had longed for. They traveled, hosted dinner parties, and shared the kind of love that felt effortless. Meanwhile, Ethan was left alone in their now empty apartment, haunted by memories of the life he had built with her. Everywhere he looked, he saw remnants of their relationship: the couch where they used to cuddle on lazy Sundays, the kitchen where they'd made pancakes together on Saturday mornings. It was all gone now. Ethan tried to move on, but the pain lingered. He watched from a distance as Hannah's life with Ryan thrived. He was left with the knowledge that no matter how hard he had fought, it wasn't enough.